I believe that he was making the money he says he's making. Showtime Boxing wouldn't have gone out of business, and
Jake Paul's world came crashing down after he got hit with a major reality check. Who would have guessed that the guy who made his name with YouTube pranks would end up facing a real challenge in the boxing ring? Jake, you thought you could just walk into Showtime Boxing and call yourself a champion. Nice try.
And Jake Paul's very smart, man. Like he gets guys that he's bigger than.
Younger
the only time
than.
he fought another boxer his size was Tom Fury, and he lost.
Boxing isn't like one of those pranks you can edit or fix. If you mess up, there's no redoing it. You've got to face the consequences, and for Jake, that could mean a lifetime sentence in the ring.
And Jake Paul's very smart, man. Like he gets guys that he's bigger than. The
Younger
only time
than.
he fought another boxer his size was Tom Fury, and he lost.
Jake Paul, the self-proclaimed king of YouTube and boxing's loudest wannabe, has finally hit rock bottom, and honestly, it was bound to happen. Let's be real, he built his empire on controversy, trash talk, and a talent for getting under people's skin. And for a while, it actually worked.
Tyson is averaging more punches than he did in that fight with McBride and in the exhibition against Roy Jones, where he averaged 24 punches around.
Like I said, I don't like the fact that they keep messing with that mouthpiece.
Oh!
Jake Paul made a name for himself by throwing punches and stacking cash, convincing everyone he was the real deal. But now, his world is falling apart faster than his excuses, and honestly, it's kind of satisfying to watch. When Jake first entered the ring, he wasn't just selling fights, he was selling a fantasy. "I'm the future of boxing," he'd shout, chest puffed out like he'd just knocked out Muhammad Ali. But the reality? Far less impressive.
Jake fought a guy who was his age and was also considered a boxer, and he lost.
Take his fight with Tyron Woodley, for example. Sure, it ended in a TKO, but did anyone really buy it? Woodley, a seasoned MMA fighter, went down in a way that felt more like a Hollywood script than a real boxing match. Then, there's the fight-fixing scandal, and this is where Jake Paul's serious athlete image completely fell apart. This guy actually tried to set up a fight with Mike Tyson, and allegedly tried to rig it. Mike Tyson, the guy who could probably knock someone out with just a stare. Leaked documents and insider rumors suggest Jake and his team were cooking up shady deals to stack the odds in his favor. Why rely on skill when you can just cheat, right?
This right here, Skip, Jake Paul has everything to win if he was to defeat Mike Tyson.
Fans weren't just disappointed, they were furious. This wasn't just another Jake Paul stunt, it was a direct slap in the face to boxing, a sport built on blood, sweat, and respect. But Jake? He treated it like just another TikTok challenge.
And everybody was saying, nice shot by Jake Paul.
Right hand by Paul, that is his most effective.
Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson on November 15, 2024, was supposed to be the event of the year. Instead, it became a masterclass in controversy and disappointment. A staggering 65 million people worldwide tuned into Netflix for this spectacle at AT&T Stadium in Texas. And what did they get? A fight that felt more like a poorly scripted reality TV episode than a clash of titans.
Mike Tyson's just been beat off Jake Paul. But how? Mike Tyson's an absolute legend and one of the greatest fighters of all time. How can this YouTuber beat such a great...
The result? Jake Paul won via unanimous decision. Yes, on paper, Jake dominated the match. But watching it was a whole different story. The entire fight felt off, like watching a bad actor in a role they're totally unfit for, yet somehow convinced they're killing it. Jake didn't just outbox Tyson, he practically carried him through the fight, barely landing any punch that could even be called aggressive.
See, superior mobility. Yes, he's going to be more mobile. Yes, he's younger and he can move his feet around. So again, from round one, nothing surprised me so far. Connects with a quick 1-2 combination. Timing appears slightly off. His punches a fraction slower than in his prime. Of course they are. So round one was pretty accurate.
And speaking of scripts, the pre-fight drama was straight out of a soap opera. The entire Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson fight felt more like a scripted show than a real boxing match. You had an aging Tyson, who'd faced serious health issues, and then there was Jake Paul. The whole thing had more pre-planned drama than a reality TV series, from elder abuse accusations to Paul looking more like a lifeguard, making sure Tyson didn't drown in the ring, than an actual fighter.
And everybody was saying, nice shot by Jake Paul.
Right hand by Paul, that is his...
A right hand by Paul. Seriously? Watching a 27-year-old Jake Paul shuffle around the ring with a man 3 decades older felt off in so many ways. Tyson, while still intimidating in presence, wasn't the Iron Mike of his prime. The man was coming off a delayed fight due to a stomach ulcer flare-up. And let's not ignore the gap between expectations and reality. This bout was hyped as the fight of the year, a clash between two titans from totally different worlds. What fans actually got was a glorified sparring session.
Jake Paul, 12 of 53, 23%.
Oh my God,
Tyson
he
coming out
disrupted.
aggressively. Tyson.
Jake danced around Tyson, landed a few punches that barely even grazed him, and then the fight ended with Jake's hand raised in victory. Fans were rightfully furious. Social media blew up with criticism, with many feeling they'd been duped into watching what was really just a publicity stunt dressed up as a professional fight.
I believe that he was making the money he says he's making. Showtime Boxing wouldn't have gone out of business, and Showtime would have made sure they kept paying him.
Right.
The backlash wasn't just about the fight, it was about what it represented. Jake Paul has always been a polarizing figure, but this took things to a whole new level. For traditional boxing fans, it was another slap in the face, a clear reminder that the sport they love is being turned into a joke by celebrity influencers just chasing dollar signs.
You can't fight like 2 days in a row.
Wasn't the Tyson Jake fight, wasn't that amazing?
Yeah. It's amazing they got paid so much money for that.
Jake seemed completely unfazed by the criticism, soaking in his win and the rumored $40 million payday that came with it.
Well, X has spoken. The fight was scripted. Everyone is talking about this on X, and the script was actually leaked on X.
After the fight, rumors of rigging and scripting started to swirl. Leaked documents and insider accounts hinted that the entire event, including the scores, might have been pre-planned.
Shows with his superior mobility. Yes, he's going to be more mobile. Yes, he's younger and he can move.
Suddenly, Jake's unimpressive performance started to make sense. If the fight was really fixed, it would explain why he was pulling his punches and why Tyson, despite being a shadow of his former self, never seemed in any real danger. Fans, already let down by the lackluster fight, now had a new reason to be furious.
Clip 16.
So where does this leave Jake Paul? Facing the music. Legal challenges, accusations of fraud, and a growing wave of public disdain are slowly eroding his invincible persona. This fight, which was meant to solidify his status as a serious contender, has turned into a PR disaster. The once untouchable influencer now finds himself at the heart of a scandal that might be too big for him to recover from.
He wasn't even good at the end. And now he's 58 and he's been living the kind of life he's been living. How's he going to have a chance? I'm putting everything on Paul. I'm laying 180. I think it was 180 he was getting. It was I think it went up to minus 220, whatever. But it was minus 180.
Where do we even begin? Jake Paul's arrest wasn't just a legal matter. It was pure, unfiltered drama. The once cocky YouTuber turned boxer found himself surrounded by officers, and for once, his mouth wasn't running a mile a minute. This wasn't just a shock to fans, it was a headline writer's dream.
The charges?
Breach of contract and potential fraud. That's right, the guy who spent months hyping up his fight with Mike Tyson couldn't even keep his legal affairs straight. But it wasn't just the charges that had people talking, it was Jake's reaction. Panic doesn't even begin to cover it.
You can't fight like 2 days in a row.
Wasn't the Tyson Jake fight, wasn't that amazing?
Yeah. It's amazing they got paid so much money for that.
One moment, he was bragging about his $40 million payday, and the next, he looked like a deer in headlights. Gone was the over-the-top confidence, replaced by a meltdown so public it made even his harshest critics cringe.
Tyson's 58 years old. You know what I mean? Jake fought a guy who was his age and was also considered a boxer, and he lost.
Jake Paul was good at playing tough, but this moment exposed the truth behind the act. All those Instagram posts, flashy cars, and trash talk couldn't hide the fact that when the pressure hit, Jake folded faster than a cheap lawn chair. The arrest wasn't just a legal issue, it was a full-blown character reveal. Fans who had once cheered him on were left wondering, was any of it real?
And quite frankly, me too, because I don't want to hear any of you dumb fucks anymore. Today, I'm reading your troll comments and eating them.
Being cuffed was the low point, but Jake was sorely mistaken if he thought things couldn't get worse. The fallout from the allegations of fight tampering has been nothing short of catastrophic.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be down. Let's run it. I'll be super down.
A lifetime ban from boxing. That's right, Jake, the self-proclaimed savior of modern boxing, could be permanently kicked out of the very sport he's been trying to legitimize himself in.
Goes low and gets in, and he did that and had a clear opening on Jake, and Jake went like this, and Mike just didn't hit him, and that's the video.